Hi everyone, welcome to this session. My name is Dr. K. I'll be taking you for a unit or two in the first semester of 2020-2021 academic year. And I would like us to talk about one or two things pertaining to our um, semester. We have to appreciate that things have changed, and due to the current pandemic, we have to do things differently. We have to appreciate that we are operating under new normal. However, despite the pandemic, life have to move on, but that does not mean that as it moves on, we won't be there. So we have to keep safe, we have to protect ourselves, we have to keep social distance, and we need to do all that it is required for us to avoid being part of the statistics. In that case, it means we have no option, or rather in first didn't have no option, but to have online classes. And we usually say that when institutions calls for change, one have to change with the change. But if you don't change with the change, change may change you. And if it changes by force, it always changes you negatively. So it is very important that we change with the change and we do the things the new way. We know that our lives has really changed. The way we used to socialize, the way we used to do shopping, the way we used to worship, that has changed. It means even the way we do our running have to change. We have to see the new ways of doing things. In that case, it means for us to be able to move on with our studies, we have to do online classes. What is of importance, and we need to note, all of us, is that this is the ordinary business. The only thing that has changed is that it's being done under extraordinary circumstances, and therefore it calls for extraordinary approach. But the basis of the business have not changed. We know it's a requirement for you to attend classes, a number of lessons for you to have be considered that you really attended classes for a particular semester. That has not changed. So the number of lessons you expected to attend has not changed. The only thing that has changed is that you'll be attending the classes virtually. Unfortunately, and that's one of the reasons why that is important we have a dialogue at this time, is that the attendance of the classes as of now is very, very poor. The attendance is quite poor. Students have not registered, very few have registered, and even those who have registered, they are not attending classes. So the objective of talking to you at this point is actually to appeal to each one of us to do the necessary and join the classes. Do the necessary and attend classes. That is very critical. It's the bottom line. If you don't attend classes, then there is no way you can be able to move on, do your continuous assessment test and do your exam. And the university would like to see that things are moved on. They want to see that you have moved on. But then if you don't join the classes, how do we move on? So do the necessary, register for the units, and join classes. Now, for us to be able to achieve these as students, this calls for time management and resources management. I know when some of us are at home, We may be engaged in other activities. Some of us could be entrepreneurs and you have small businesses you are running. Others are in the Kazi Mtaani program. Others are helping in our families in businesses. Others are doing small farms. All those activities are very, very, very important. Very important, especially for business students. It's good to keep on practicing. For example, you're doing small business, but then priority is important. We need to prioritize what we are doing, because even if you are making some good small amount of money here in your small business, or your Kazi Mtaani, or you are got an engagement here and there, is it very important you make that money then you graduate after 6 years? I believe not. I believe not. So it is important that we prioritize our activities. At this point, the priority is attending classes and doing the necessary, and then finishing your classes, finishing your college, and then from there you can go and start working on doing business. So priority is key here. So what I'm appealing, or rather what I want to advise ourselves, is this: one, let us set goals on what we want to achieve in this semester. Let's set goals on what we want to achieve this semester, and the priority here should be attending classes. Because when you're at home, it's a fact, you may find that you are involved in a number of things, but let us set goals. What do we want to achieve? Of course, attending class and finishing our classes. Set goals and have smart goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Then number 2, allocate your time. Have a time plan, have a timetable of on how you'll be spending your time. Have a timetable on how you'll be spending your time. When you attend the class, when you shall be reading on your own, when you shall be doing your assignments, when you shall be doing other activities. Because at the end of, you'll be attending classes, you'll be given assignments, so you need to plan for that. Can you have a good timetable of your own, which includes the time you're attending classes, and the time you should be doing assignments, and the time you shall be doing all other activities that are related to your studies? Number 3, which is more important, allocate resources, allocate finances to your studies. I know some of students have been saying, okay, fine, these studies are expensive because of the data bundles. But I want to remind you that if you are in campus or you are in face-to-face learning, 1, you'd have paid for hostel. Number 2, you could be paying for meals. At the moment, you're being provided meals by your guardian and your parents. You could have traveled. Some of you've traveled from very far. You have spent money. You could be spending a lot of money for your upkeep. That is the finances you need to reallocate from personal use to academic use, where you shall be using it for data, and maybe for those who don't have gadgets, maybe you buy a better phone or a laptop, or whichever the gadget which will help you join the online classes. Let's do that. Let's plan for that, so that we can be able to achieve the objectives. So I wish that you can do that. Set your goals, have a timetable, and allocate your resources, and then prioritize, so that you're not left behind. I won't wish to see that some of us have been left behind. I want to see that everyone move, or rather we move as a team. At the end of the semester, we shall all finish together as a team. So all the best, plan for yourself, and let's meet in the next lesson, and I believe you'll be available that time. So thank you, and plan to attend the class.